Alright everyone, hello and welcome. This is Hippie, doing another Premier League replay cast. This is going to be a best of 3 from yesterday, 2 days ago actually, Sunday the 3rd, between Empire and Dignitas. And two fantastic teams, and Dignitas especially actually, been doing some really interesting drafting lately, so it should be a good show. Let's rock.
Dire team back.
Quickly mention. Whoa. Okay. Oh well, actually, Ancient Apparition with the Chilly Touch buff. I'm not sure if he's first ban phase material, but with Dignitas' interesting drafting, it's quite possible that could be worth it. I was about to say something about Empire's lineup, but that just right off the bat just caught me by surprise. The next ban much more normal. The stand-in for Empire is Vigos after they lost Phonic to Na'Vi. So he's been playing well in other series I've seen, so we'll see how he does right here. Coddle the first pick after Nyx, Bat, Wisp, and Ancient Apparition banned. Aside from the AA, very, very standard bans. The AA being banned out now because the Chilling Touch buff is so incredibly, incredibly good, and it pretty much turns any tri-lane into a kill tri-lane. And teams are basically, what was an ability you used to skip for stats, like, you didn't even touch it. In fact, if you skilled it and put it on your carry, they got mad at you. Like, even if they were level 25 and you were level 25 and you basically had to either skill it or leave it floating, you left it floating so you didn't accidentally cast it. It was that useless. Now that it's AoE, it's amazing. It's so much extra damage. And Clockwork and Visage picked up very, very early for Dignitas. That is... not to say they're not powerful heroes, but spending your first 2 picks on them when you could pick heroes like Darkseer and Magnus and Shadow Demon and Lifestealer, and there's so many incredible heroes you could pick up, and you pick Clock Visage. Visage isn't going to get picked. He might get banned in the second phase. The Clock you could get away with doing a 3rd pick on because he gets banned against teams that use him, and Dignitas is definitely one of those. But I like teams picking interesting heroes. I don't like them picking them as their first couple picks, because if they're heroes that don't really fit the current metagame, and aren't heroes that you've shown, oh, you have to ban this against us or you lose, it's like a signature team hero sort of thing, they're not going to get picked, they're not going to get banned. You can wait. Although, I mean, maybe you don't want to give away your draft. That's the reason you would pick them that early, because, okay, I'm showing you, like, our offlaner, maybe a pair of heroes that's going in our tri-lane, probably a tri-lane support and an offlaner coming out of that Clockwork. And so they don't want to show their carry or their mid, and they want to be able to counterpick those more effectively. That's a possibility. But aside from that, I would pretty much never, ever, never pick like that. Alright. So Lifestealer and Queen of Pain going to be the next pickups from Empire. Much more standard picks. Queen of Pain, one of the best mids, with her amazing base damage, ridiculous Shadow Strike Harass. And something, I think it was Draskell who said this, and I completely agree, he said this, I think actually today, is basically, if you win your lane with Queen of Pain, you can pretty much just win the game in the mid-game. And that's something we've all seen. We've seen how ridiculous that hero can be if she gets an early advantage. She gets level 6 before the enemy mid, can be like ganking really hard before the enemy mid. She can just take complete control and destroy the game before carries have a chance to get farmed up. We'll see if she does that. And Lifestealer, of course, one of the most popular carries in the scene right now. Very versatile, very strong in the lane, strong in the mid game, and able to snowball quite effectively into the late game against a lot of opposing carries. Puck, another hero that's kind of been seeing a resurgence as a mid, along with Storm Spirit. Those two are a couple of heroes that were really, really popular for a long time, then kind of just faded a little for, after, some minor nerfs. And then just getting picked up again like crazy now, and it's being shown they are still really good heroes. So it doesn't surprise me. Looks like banned out are Phantom Lancer, Darkseer, and Silencer. Silencer banned out, I mean, yeah, Silencer really wrecks Queen of Pain and wrecks any sort of kind of spam-based lineup, but he's also really good against global gank lineups, because anywhere, like wherever he is, you can just pop that silence if someone gets gone on, and pro teams have the coordination. He'll do it within a split second of it happening. They'll say, I need a Silencer ult, and bam, the R gets pressed. And so, basically, he can respond to a gank anywhere on the map and shut it down, and generally turn it around, too, if they weren't planning for the possibility of a silence and didn't have an escape plan after that, which generally you don't. You don't plan, if you're a Queen of Pain ganking the off lane or something, that suddenly there's going to be a silencer ult and you're going to die. Gyrocopter banned out by Empire. Incredibly strong hero. Doesn't at all surprise me to see him gone in the second phase. Bane banned out by Dignitas, which is a little weird to me, just because, I mean, Empire has the Lifestealer. So, alright, they're trying to ban out that third tri-lane support. They wanted to ban out the Darkseer just because the Darkseer is ridiculous, and then make sure that they don't have a really strong third tri-lane support for that Lifestealer. Because already Lifestealer Coddle is going to be a huge pain to deal with. And adding a Bane or a Shadow Demon to that would pretty much give the Lifestealer just complete free farm, even if you tried to go aggressive on him. Which, it looks like, I mean, based on those bans, I actually think they might be trying to run an aggressive try, just because Shadow Demon and Bane are two of the best defensive tries in the business. I mean, they're incredibly good offensive tries, too. They're just amazing try supports all around. But, you know, a quick Nightmare to shut down a gank, a quick Disruption to shut down a gank. Very, very easy ways to keep yourself from dying. Excuse me. Nature's Prophet going to be the next pick out from Team Empire. Adding some more global presence, some more gank, and some good split push onto their lineup. And Dignitas not really... I mean, the Flare is okay for this, and the Puck Illusory Orb is okay for this, but those are both abilities you kind of want to save for something other than creep clearing, which is what I want to mention with that Nature Prophet. If you want to pick, you can pick a Prophet in a lot of situations, but he's obviously at his strongest when the opposing team doesn't have a lot of ways to clear out his trees very, very quickly, so they can just port someone in and instantly nuke down all of his trees. That's a very, very valuable thing to be able to do when you're up against a Prophet. And now, I think Empire is kind of betting, okay, you need a carry, so that he's not going to have a particularly good spammable nuke to clear out this stuff, especially not with the Gyrocopter banned out. You're not going to have flat cannon, which is just godlike against Furion. Witch Doctor, okay. Dignitas just... Man, I love these guys. Just because they make such interesting picks. So Witch Doctor, basically, the most interesting thing about him is his Maledict, which... I mean, obviously, a lot of people are going to know exactly what it does, but for those of you that don't see Witch Doctor as much, for those of you that don't quite understand, basically, he puts it on the ground, it tags every hero within the AoE with a very, very small dot to prevent them from doing something like salving, and then, however much damage you deal, like for every 100 damage you deal to them, they then take extra damage on a tick, like every 5 seconds, and there's 3 big ticks of that. So it's basically a damage amp that occurs a few seconds after the fact. And so the trick with that is it actually makes all of your damage scale at least a little bit. Your magic damage scales up. You know, the more nuke you have, it's gonna scale because it amplifies all of it. So it's almost similar to something like a Soul Catcher. Except it's not quite as good because it doesn't do it immediately, but it's still very, very powerful. And Weaver going to be picked up as the carry for Dignitas. I'm still a little worried that they don't really have the creep clearing power to stop this split push. The Puck is good at it if he wants to burn all his utility abilities on it, and he knows he's not going to be in any sort of danger or fight anytime soon. But aside from that, I mean, they're really, really lacking. And I think that might really hurt them in the mid-game against that Furion. We'll see how it turns out. As it is, though, Enchantress the last pickup for Empire. You know, obviously, they don't feel that they need to worry too much about an aggressive tri-lane. Well, actually, I mean, Enchantress is perfectly good against a tri-lane as well. They can play nice and defensively with the Coddle Nuke, just to make sure that no one can really engage on the Lifestealer for fear of just eating 200 hit points really, really early. And that's, you know, obviously a huge fight swinger really early. And then, on top of that, you have the Enchantress, who's off in the jungle getting her own levels. Obviously, the Lifestealer and the Coddle are getting more levels than they usually would, because they have the Enchantress in the jungle. And so this is interesting. Empire kind of hanging out, trying to gauge where Dignitas is going before they actually reveal anything. Anyway, I want to really quickly run through the players. 3-3-3 on the Enchantress, Blow Your Brain on the Lifestealer, SS on the Keeper of the Light, Scandal going to be playing the Nature's Prophet, and Vigos on the Queen of Pain. Over on the side of Dignitas, we have Problematic, aka Way Too Sexy, on the Clockwork. We have Tides on the Witch Doctor. We have Owie 2000 playing the Visage. We have Universe on the Weaver, and it's going to be Fogged on the mid-puck. So Dignitas got scouted out pretty well by that Treant. Empire knows exactly where they are. I don't know why SS is hanging out right there. It's kind of... it's vaguely dangerous. And yeah, aggressive tri-lane going to come out. They're going to safe lane the Weaver and put the Visage Clockwork Witch Doctor top lane. And that's going to be really, really effective as long as they can hold the Lifestealer in place long enough that that the Rage will time out and he can get the Maledict off. The Witch Doctor can. Because it's so painful. I mean, even a few auto attacks really start to add up with the Maledict. But you need to make sure that you tag it on him. It's best, obviously, if you do it after the Rage. So first of all, so he can't dodge it by timing the Rage really, really well, and second of all, so he can't dodge a tick or two of it. Because one of the nice things is that it will scale up over time. You know, it'll amp the first tick of damage, then that tick will get amped on top of the damage they've taken. Already a slow going out and a blow your brain. Stun gonna go out, gonna try and get up there for the cogs, but can't quite get in range. Quick Coddle Nuke to discourage them from pursuing further, although they weren't really gonna dive that tower. Over in the mid lane, Vygos probably gonna do... Puck can be really, really good against Queen of Pain, just because he can phase shift every time she tries to throw one of her Shadow Strike daggers. He can just phase shift it and not take any of the tick. So and also, because Puck has a silence, and especially because Waning Rift is usually leveled to 2 at a reasonable speed, just so you make sure you have a decent duration silence, you can, if a Queen of Pain overextends on you, Puck can punish her a lot better than a lot of mid-heroes, simply because he has that silence. Because he actually also has, you know, a reasonable amount of nuke damage. And already thrown out a lot of nuke harass. Oh, he's going in! Fogged just doesn't care, he's just going to go in for a lot of extra damage. Dodges out what looked like it may have been just a Shadow Strike. And then, wow, putting a lot of pressure on Vygos, already forcing him to salve up, although he does have his bottle coming out to him right now. Fogg's bottle not going to be quite as fast. He didn't go for the just 3 branches and some regen build that Vygos did.
That's a first.
And, oh, looks like Weaver dived real hard on Scandal back there, and Enchantress actually came bottom lane. Is she... Wow, you know what I probably should have been paying attention to? I think she's been jungling aggressively this whole time, and I just didn't notice. I'm really sorry, guys. That was just a complete oversight on my part. But very, very well played. I don't think Empire had any idea she was there, or else Universe would not have... Or, excuse me, I don't think Dignitas had any idea she was there, or Universe would not have been willing to dive that Furion if he knew she had that Furion had some kind of support there, especially the possibility of a Dark Troll. Meanwhile, in top lane, Lifestealer having a little bit of trouble farming up here. He's only 4-2, and the Clockwork has taken the farming role here, already 11-2. So he's actually going to have the ability to either get some good defensive items or some good support items up very, very quickly. It's up to way too sexy to decide what he wants to do with that. But we'll see. We'll see how things go here. They're not getting the kills on Lifestealer, but oh, there we go. Quick stun comes out there. He's gonna take the stun instead of wow. Oh man, if they had actually gotten off the Soul Assumption and the Flare a little bit faster while he was taking that stun, he probably would have gone down. They just, you know, they felt like they needed to wait. I didn't think they realized he was gonna take so much damage just from those auto attacks, and so they were trying to fire them off at the last second, and those abilities got dodged by the Rage. So unfortunate for Dignitas, but good little survival there from Blow Your Brain. He's just going to salve up and be fine again. But so much pressure putting on him, he just can't get anything going. It's his mid-game, and a lot of the mid-game, I think, from Empire, if this top lane keeps up and they don't make a reaction here, if they say, okay, we're just going to kind of live with this, it's going to really ride on Vygos to make things happen. Anyway, now, the wonders of replay casting. We're just going to speed up this pause. So alright, looks like Dignitas is ready, and Empire says go, so we return to the game. More Orb Harass being thrown out from Fogged. Looks like his bottle is, yep, just coming out. Tides actually has some smoke ready to go. I wonder if they want to get this Queen of Pain, and oh, there goes the Coddle. That's a... Oh, no, actually, it looks like Tide skilled the early... he's not skilling the Mallet, he's skilling the Voodoo Restoration. Scandal going to come in there, try to pick him off. Yes, he is going to get the return kill. Owie now might be in trouble if they can get any sort of slow out on him. Open Wound still on a 14-second cooldown, however. Scandal doesn't... He has a Sprout, but he's not going to win. But there's the Queen of Pain. Where's the Shadow Strike? She doesn't have the mana. Oh, and she gets Cogs back. She has no mana whatsoever. Beautiful Cogs coming out of way too right there. To just make sure that Queen of Pain could not chase any further, could not blink around or anything like that. And she didn't quite have time to bottle up. God, I think she just barely didn't have the Shadow Strike mana during that chase. Ooh, getting a regen on the way back to lane. Very lucky there, coming out for Vigos. And good reaction by the Queen of Pain to go in there and make that a 1-for-1 trade. And, you know, support for a support, but at the same time, you're getting a little more out of it because, first of all, your Lifestealer and your Queen of Pain are both getting the experience from it, which is significant. And the Lifestealer desperately needs that assist gold. Trying to do a little bit of a pull here to pull the lane back towards his own tower. Because he feels he can't farm safely. I mean, Dignitas just showed they're really willing to dive in to try and get the Lifestealer up here, so I wish I remembered to close that more often. I'm sorry, guys. So they found the pull right here, and they're actually going to get... it looks like Owie just barely missed that creep, and oh, you know, way too missing the melee creep as well. So, not quite as perfect of a little catch there, but, you know, not a huge deal. Blow now doing his best to farm off, so I'm getting Grave Chilled again. That is such a mean spell. It's on, you know, a reasonably short cooldown, 10-second cooldown for, at level 2, a 4-second slow. It's eventually 60% uptime on that slow, and it's a good slow. It's 32%, and that gets transferred to Visage. I mean, that's a pretty ridiculous slow. Oh, looks like Smoke Gang gonna come in here. We have SS and 333 coming up top. Gonna try and get Owie, maybe. I think they know that he's kind of sitting here a little behind the creep line. This is really dangerous positioning for him. He's gonna get slowed by the open wounds. There he goes. Grave Chill comes out, but the Rage is gonna come out to take it right off. Stun from the Enchantress. Scandal doesn't even need to port in. I don't think they have the slows to get their hands on, Oh, there we go. There's Scandal. The Cogs come out, but just not quite enough damage yet. He does go down. Ports are coming in from Universe. Going to try and chase down SS here. He's going to turn back into the tower, trying to get the nuke out on Tides. And Universe is definitely going to get him, at least if Owie didn't. But Tides looks like he's going to go down as well. Vigos going to pick up that kill. Universe chasing Scandal now. Scandal very, very low. Doesn't really have the mana to get out. Probably going to go down. Yeah, there's another... Oh, into the trees. Bought himself a little bit of time. He wanted to get Blow Your Brain back there, but they just didn't have what they needed. And man, that was all, and Fog's coming in there, dodges the attack real quick, but then gets caught by the Fury and ult and killed by Blow Your Brain. This is just a huge, huge fight going on right here. Owie with a lot of soul assumption charge. He's going to throw those out on Blow. Blow does not have a rage, but he infests into the Enchantress. Beautiful, beautiful. But Universe, no, is not going to chase. He thought about it. He was thinking about it, but then realizing, wait, the last thing I want to do is just get infest bombed and die. I just picked up good kills. Let's not feed now. But hey, I know the feeling. If I was that Weaver, I probably would have chased. But you know, I'm not as good as they are. Safe play is strong play. And there's Vigos saying, "Universe, what are you doing in my lane? Get out, get out." Scandal putting this pressure on this bottom tower. Only Tides to try and slow him down. Witch Doctor actually okay creep clearing, just because the cask does so much damage to creeps. But at the same time, it's a reasonably long cooldown. 18 seconds right now at level 2, and you don't really want to burn the mana and the cooldown. Something that could save your life for the, just for the sake of stopping a few creeps. I mean, unless they're gonna take your tower, which they weren't. This Voodoo Restoration First build from Tides is really interesting to me. I guess the idea behind it is that he can take it, and since they're in a tri-lane, of course, it's more effective, because the more heroes you're hitting with it, the more effective it is, but it lets them kind of heal up while they're diving, be a little more tanky if they want to dive on the Lifestealer, and be kind of ultra aggressive, and gives them a bit of a fallback if they take a little too much damage, so they don't have to back out of lane quite as much. Looks like Tides is going to get sprouted. No, he just managed to get just out of fog, but there's Blow. He's going to get a slow if he doesn't even need it. Just whacks him a couple times. Damage is coming out from the other two heroes. And Blow picks up Tides. Unfortunate. Well, fortunate for Lifestealer, who really kind of needs it. He's still only at 15 and 2 on creeps. His net worth, though, has now hit top of the board. So, while not getting amazing creep farm, the fact that he has, where are we? Right here. The fact that he's 202 is really, really moving him forward. giving Empire... I mean, the aggressive tri-lane worked for Dignitas. It's not like it was a badly done lane. They actually did quite well here. But the movement from Vygos really helped them. And Puck, picking off, looks like we have engagement down here over the tower. Blow Your Brain going to be the next one to go down. That's 3 kills so far for Dignitas down here. 3-3-3 going to get Soul Sunders. He's dead, not getting away from this Weaver. A double kill for Fogged. So a 4-for-1. They got the tower, but that is not worth it at all, especially when you're feeding Fogged a double kill, letting him catch up. Because Vygos, I mean... Vygos, after he got a couple kills, definitely had the better of mid lane in the end, but now with Puck up at 3-1-2, Universe at 3-1-3, this is an excellent, excellent strong start from Dignitas. I mean, just making sure that they can go blow for blow from Empire. They've evened it up at 8-8, which after their kind of blunders in the top lane where they just lost so many heroes, I mean, even with the return kills they got, it wasn't enough to even it up after that.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
Vygos just farming up.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
Universe looks like he might be going for... No. No. He's going for an Orchid? That would be so weird. It would just be... I mean, you kind of want to put it on the Queen of Pain or on the Furians. They can't get away quite as easily, but... getting it on your Weaver instead of on maybe the Clockwork who's farming, I don't know. That's weird to me. Universe now doing a little bit of time lapse trickery against Blow. Blow just going to heal himself up off the Infest. So both of them just going to use their fight reset abilities as they were beating on each other down here. Excuse me. But obviously Universe having the better time. There goes the open wounds. Rage comes out as well, but just a quick Shikuchi away to make sure that nothing could really come from that slow. Here comes the pressure on top lane, though. Empire going to rotate and have Enchantress and Nature's Prophet creeps just beating up this tower. Pretty much no way this is going to live at this point. They didn't rotate fast enough if they wanted to save it. But the Visage deny. Ninja Familiars take it out. Well done. They should have put a little more... should have been a little more focused on stopping those Familiars. They swing individually very, very hard when they have their first buff. Or, excuse me, before they've made any attacks, before this buff is kind of draining away. So they can actually get tricks like that, especially, you know, there's 2 of them. Each of them is swinging for 66 damage on their initial attack. That's 132. Looks like Blow Your Brain doing a little bit of stacking and fighting over here on these Ancients. Trying to get farm where he can, since his lane was not exactly perfect for him. Bracer coming out. Is he... And he also went Orb of Venom, so he wants to be able to chase heroes early. He wants to be able to play aggressive, which is reasonably typical of Empire. They don't tend to build very defensively. They tend to go very kind of mid-game oriented. You know, don't let things go super late. Although, I'd give the Weaver... Yeah, the Weaver's going Orchid. We'll have to see how this works out. I mean, it's interesting because Weaver does really need mana regen because a lot of the danger to the enemy team posed by a Weaver is based on how mobile he can stay and how much he can spam that Shikuchi, and Scandal might be in some serious trouble here. He's gonna fire off an ult in hopes of catching Universe real quick, but he traps himself in with Universe, and then Universe just time-lapses himself out when he sees Blow Your Brain. He knows that Blow can't really do anything to stop him right there. Shikuchi's as he's TPing away. I did not know that popping Shikuchi does not interrupt channeling. That's very interesting. And hook in from Clockwork, but he gets blinding lighted out, but Puck comes in! You're still stuck in there, and Puck says, hello, friend. Hello, friend. Did you miss your little fairy buddy? Oh, that impetus damage. One more attack coming out from 3-3-3. Oh, and Fogged! Ninja Blink up to the high ground and just ports home. Oh, Vygos very nearly gets him in time. So close. So very close. There's Tide's going to just counter that ward that has a good 20 seconds left on it. And now Visage Familiar is just pushing the top lane in. Not doing a lot of damage right now, but they still attack pretty darn fast. Keeper of the Light going to port up here to try and push back the lane. Vygos farming up still. Kind of behind. What's his net worth looking like? Yeah, only 3,200 on the Queen of Pain. Not really exactly where he wants to be. Ended up 1-2-1. And, you know, after a good gank top and, like, a good setup up there, you'd think he'd be doing a little better, but the last couple of team fights haven't really gone or the last couple of skirmishes, there haven't really been team fights, haven't gone in the favor of Empire. And since the Queen of Pain needs to be at all of those, if they lose and she loses time on that, it really slows down her mid game. And you know, mention a Queen of Pain can win you the mid game. She also, if she doesn't get a decent advantage, a lot of what she relies on is being far enough ahead of everyone else that her burst damage is really, really significant. Because, you know, you have 300 from the Scream of Pain, you have 350 from the Sonic Wave, and then you have the ticks coming out from the Shadow Strike. And, you know, along with a decent amount of base damage, 76 per swing right now, that's a pretty significant threat. But at the same time, if everyone else, I mean, it'll kill someone like Witch Doctor, it'll do a decent chunk of damage to Weaver, but he'll just time-lapse it. They don't have any way to stop that. Visage, 900 life, and as soon as he levels Gravekeeper's Cloak, not really going to care quite as much about any of that. And Clockwork, reasonably tanky, so the only person who really feels threatened is Tides. And as long as Tides is careful and plays with an ally, the Queen of Pain, especially once Universe gets this this Orchid, I'm really interested to see how he plays this once he gets this Orchid. You know, and just the mana regen it'll give him, the mobility it'll give him, will be a very intriguing sort of style of Weaver to watch. I mean, you know, the reason a lot of Weavers go for Lincolns is not only is it a good solid defensive item, but the regen it gives and the stability it gives is exactly what Weaver needs in the mid game. Vigos in 3-3-3, just trying to push up this mid lane, maybe trying to take this tower. But both Owie and Fogged are just here ready to go. Oh, and Way2 is right there as well. Or Problematic, as he's terming himself. I should just call him that, because every time I have to do like a little bit of a double take and think, who's Problematic? Right, it's Way2. And so you hear me kind of stumble for a second on who it actually is playing the hero. So I'm just going to call him by what he calls himself. He's Problematic now. But, I mean, he's being problematic for the enemy team. 2 assists, 1 kill. And tanky and hard to deal with. And I'd expect him to be doing a little more with this hook shot, but he's not being as active as I'd like him to be. I mean, that's kind of what part of what a Clockwork pick gives you is that ability. I mean, the long-range mid-game initiation. He's one of the best non-blink initiators in the game. I mean, and so just not using that to its fullest with the hook shot is kind of a misstep in my mind. And there's the Orchid available on Universe. And he's just going to pop right out of there. He sees the Vigos with haste. He says, alright, you can chase me down. Tides, though. Tides not thinking about it. And that is some serious trouble. He'll be in... Oh my gosh. Oh man, the cask bounced back just in time to stun Vigos so that he couldn't have line of sight, so he didn't know precisely where to aim all his spells. So he wasn't able to just burst him before that TP went off. That was the luckiest cask of Tides' life right there. Glorious. Excuse me. Weaver's just going to go back to farming. Mid lane looks like it's going to be getting pushed at least a little bit. Oh, but 3-3-3 getting caught out. He gets slowed by the... really, Scandal? There's the unpause coming out. Scandal apologizing. Soul Assumption coming out. So much damage being put on. There's the hook shot. There's the just death. Doesn't even need to use the cogs or the battery assault or anything to try and lock him down. Popping off that flare and blasting that Enchantress. Vigos now here to try and hold this lane from pushing in, but there comes... Oh, the blinks. The silence misses by just an inch, so they cannot pick off Vigos. He probably could have been burst down. He only has 1,000 life. Between how quick the Puck could have put some quick damage on him, and then the Soul Assumption nuke coming out from the Visage, would have been a whole lot of damage. And then you'd probably get a second Soul Assumption off just before that Silence Wharf. And there goes another Silence coming out. Vigos now saying to himself, whoops, I made the mistake of sticking around here. There's a blink, there's a stun. Alright, there's the blink. Vigos not making the mistake of hanging out any closer than he needs to. Again, he already sees how much damage he can take just from that Puck. So let's see how the golden experience graphs are looking. I haven't checked those in a bit. Looks like we have about a 2,000 experience advantage for Dignitas, and a little over a 750 gold advantage, so reasonably close. But I think the experience advantage is very much where this... Oh, it looks like Keeper of the Light is taking a whole lot of damage, but then Clockwork also just getting engaged upon. He's going to go down very quickly. That Enchantress impetus plus the Vigos damage coming out. Oh, there's the Death Ward coming out at 333, taking a whole lot of damage. Coddle Nuke is going to help pick off Puck real quick. Scandal now getting chased down by Universe. He's running right past the tower. He does not care. Does he have his... No, he doesn't have his Orchid off cooldown. Scandal missing the Sprout. That's going to be huge. Blinding Light comes out to try and save Scandal, but it just isn't quite enough. He doesn't miss. Unfortunate, and really unlucky, in fact, considering how good that Blinding Light miss chance is. Was it 60? 80%? I can't quite recall. It's 80%. The fact that he got that 1 in 5 chance to get the kill before he had to back off is really lucky on Universe's part. Really unfortunate for Scandal. Armlet coming out on the Lifestealer. That'll help here. So he has a drum and an armlet. He's definitely going for a very mid-game oriented build. And the fact that they kind of did this, I mean, again, as I mentioned, it's Empire's style. But the fact that while they're going for a mid-game build, they're behind on experience, which is generally more significant than gold in the mid-game, because experience is determining, you know, especially on a very AoE-heavy team like this, Queen of Pain and Coddle alone make for a huge amount of AoE. And then on top of that, you have whatever creeps Enchantress manages to pick up. I guess the Fury Nuke, okay, maybe not as AoE heavy as I was originally going with, but the Infest Bomb, you have a reasonable amount of mid-game magic damage. The levels really are more significant. Because if you're at an experience disadvantage, not only are you doing less damage with each of your nukes, it looks like in the meantime, SS is going to go down to a combination of Weaver and Puck. Weaver that's just going to run by a Sentry Ward, he's hanging out. They don't realize he's visible right there, I don't think. And now, also problematic here, visible to that Sentry, standing right on top of it. Silence does come out from the Orchid onto Queen of Pain. Blow Your Brain going to pop that Rage and just go right in. Queen of Pain Nuke going to come out. The ult catches a couple, but at the same time, she's going to go down in the end. Universe going in. Does he have his ultimate ready? He does. He's ready to back off. But the longer he holds it, the less effective it's going to be. At this point, he's not really going to get anything back when he pops it. Soul Assumption Nuke's just coming in from the high ground constantly. Blow Your Brain going to get just barely conked out before he can pick off that Clockwork. And oh, but the Coddle Nuke finishes him off in the end. Orb is going to try and catch someone, but they've all backed off. SS now coming in, Fogged backing off. Looks like they're going to try and get the Familiars really quickly. Kobold Taskmaster, or Kobold Foreman, whatever he is, with that speed aura to make sure they can try to get a little bit more out of this. Overall, I think that engagement was a bit more of a win for Dignitas. They lost, I think, an even amount of heroes in the end. I could be miscounting. It's moved from... No, actually, I think it was 3-2. I think it was 13-10. Now it's 16-12. So not only did they get more heroes, but the Weaver didn't die, and the Lifestealer and the Queen of Pain both did. And those are the mid-game heroes that are kind of the powerhouses. I mean, you have Scandal and the Nature's Prophet. He's got his Midas, and that looks like they're going to be taking Roshan. So Scandal actually going even more of a farming build than the Lifestealer. Blow just wants to fight. But it looks like they might get themselves an uncontested Roshan. There's no vision right here. I mean, lose a team fight, then immediately go take Roshan. Give yourself a decent advantage. Try and make a bit of a comeback. And I don't think Dignitas realizes this is happening. They're just kind of farming elsewhere. They figure they're in the jungle or something. They just don't have the vision. And there he goes. Queen of Pain going to pick up the Aegis. Move him right out. Scandal maybe getting caught by Tide. Sitting here invisible. There's the stun. Going to try and get in with the Puck. And keep in mind with the Death Ward, there's no problem killing him. So much damage coming out. I mean, if you can lock someone down next to a Death Ward, it's called Death Ward for a reason. Like, right there. Death Ward. It's a brutal amount of damage. I mean, even at level 1, that's 60 damage per swing, and you guys can see how fast it swings. It's pretty darn powerful. Looks like Tide's going to get himself caught, though. I don't know what he was doing hanging around there. They got the gank. They knew where they were, but oh, nice Dream Coil coming out from Puck. Silence as well. Blow Your Brain going to try and engage onto the Puck, but he does manage to... Oh, the Aegis gets popped already. He's going to go down. Puck going to go down as well, though. Soul Assumption Nuke coming into Blow. He's going to take the Infest, trying to get a little bit of damage and health back, but he doesn't really get much back. Armlet toggling his ults, keeping going, but Owie now in serious trouble. And a 4-for-0 coming out for Empire. It looks like Blow Your Brain. Yeah, he's just Armlet toggling. He's going to try and get back in there and get that Visage Familiar real quick when it comes back up. You better toggle that Armlet on. Hope it doesn't kill you, man. There we go. And then, oh, Universe is just going to barely get out. Do they have a Blinding Light to try and... No, they don't. Try and shove them. I'm not actually sure if the Blinding Light push interrupts or not. But, that was exactly what Empire needed. And basically, they got four kills that they really... I can't believe the Tides hung around that long, and I can't believe they went in to try to fight. just that deep into the jungle. I think Dignitas getting a little bit overconfident right there. Not quite... kind of overestimating the lead they had, because while they have a significant lead, it's a lead that allows them to team fight well. It's not a lead that allows them to really burst down heroes really effectively. Because they just don't have, for instance, a Queen of Pain, who's, you know, when she gets a lead, she just walks around killing heroes all over the map. Anyway, going back to a point I was trying to make like 7 minutes ago before just a chain of fights and kills broke out. Being behind in experience, as now, you know, Empire is not, which is really significant for them because of this. If you have a mid-game oriented team, you really, really desperately need to be ahead on experience, because winning the mid-game is based pretty much on how well you can, unless you have some really significant item on a really significant hero, it's mostly based on how fast you hit your higher levels, how much damage your supports can be nuking for, how much damage your mid can be nuking for, how many, you know, long stuns you have going on. Because winning the mid-game is mostly based on abilities and spells. To a certain extent, if you have like big items on certain heroes, like a big, like an early, you know, say not only did this Lifestealer have an armlet, but he had a really early Deso on top of that. That's really huge. But as long as you have like fairly standard items, the experience difference matters more. Just because nukes and nukes and ganks are what's going to get you ahead throughout the mid game until you get a whole lot of like big team fights going on. You're really relying on your carry for that late game damage. And if you're ahead in experience, not only are your nukes doing more damage, but because the other team is behind, they have less health relative to you. And thus being less durable and taking more damage overall from your nukes. Looks like we have Universe kind of just sneaking in, trying to get something done. They have a sentry right there, or did he just come out of the... oh, Slow coming out on the Tides. Is he going to go down again? There's the Rage coming out from below. Wants to get him off before he can get that Death Ward or anything off. The Cask is going to bounce around and get a lot of stunning done. Blow now caught outside the cogs. Vigos coming out with his BKB, showing that off. But all he does is get the Slow onto Visage and then back off. Weaver's going to pick off SS in the background. Clockwork going to try and just hold Blow Your Brain, but the Rage comes out. Vigos, I don't think he really needed to ult that, although, man, that Visage nuke did a whole lot of damage. Weaver picks off Enchantress in the meantime. Lots and lots of damage coming out on Universe right there. Down to 50 life, already used his laps. Vigos trying to get something done. If he just sees Universe and he's in range for the... oh, he was not quite in range for the Scream. Not in range for the Scream. There goes the Orchid, and the puck is going to come in. The damage comes out, and Vigos goes down. He wanted that kill so bad he could taste it, but just smart, you know, elusive play coming out of Universe right there. Holding off, waiting for the puck to be in range, just sitting in the Shikuchi until he could get that Orchid off cooldown. And that's a Manta. So he has an Orchid and a Manta at 26 minutes. Pretty darn solid. He's now 9-1, 11,000 net worth over the 9,000 Lifestealer. How's the GPM looking? Where is the... I'm bouncing around. Okay, there it is. Found it. 470 for the Weaver, 410 for the puck, 393 for Nature's Prophet, 366 for Lifestealer. So Weaver just crushing this mid-game in terms of the gold he's earning right there. And after that engagement, yeah, the experience swung back, about a 2,000 point swing back in the favor of Dignitas right there. They haven't quite evened it out yet, but they've definitely brought it back in their direction, and the gold lead now just inching upwards for them, about 1,500. Not massive numbers, certainly not like game-ending numbers, but swinging it back in their direction, swinging it back. Always just trying to pull, just inching slightly closer to that huge advantage that you really want. That's how Chinese Dota wins, man. They just build up tiny, tiny advantages over time, and then you just lose. And you're like, wait a minute, how are they 7,000 gold ahead of us? Because they build these tiny, tiny advantages. Everyone just kind of sneaking back to farming for now, though. Universe might be getting set up on right here. There's like several heroes hanging out right here. Diving into tower raid. He's going to go on Vigos, pops the Orchid, just backs off though, pops the Manta to try and keep pushing. Scandal going to come in, try to discourage anything like this, and Vigos just going to start cleaning things up with that Scream of Pain. Universe saying, I want no part of this, I'm going to leave. There's Blow. Oh man, he did not even realize how much trouble he was in right there. Lots of damage coming out on this mid tower. Very, very nearly dead. They're going to try and get the deny real quick. Vigos trying to time it right. And yes, he does get it. Well done by Vigos. There's a stun coming out on Universe, actually. Can they get some sort of silence on him to lock him down? No. And there's the turnaround on a Blow Your Brain. Has he already blown his rage? No, he has not. The silence ends on him. He gets it off, but he's already taken so much damage. He just gets... oh, did he sneak into an infest somewhere? He did. I didn't even see where he went, but he did manage to get out. Queen of Pain picks off Puck. Weaver did manage to pick off SS, but also Visage. I mean, that's 3 deaths for just a Queen of Pain. I mean, maybe they're going to get Oh, if they get Scandal right here, this would be even better. There's the stun coming out to stop the TP. Enchantress going to pick off Tides in the meantime, and Vigos and Enchantress still just hanging out right there. Universe kind of thinking about going in on 3 people. 4 people maybe now with Furion coming back out. But he's just going to start pushing. And Universe is going to back off. He says, wait a minute, this is a poor choice. So in the end, what looked to be a fairly good kind of start for Dignitas ended actually pretty poorly for them. Ended up trading 2 for 4. I mean, they get a buyback from the Furion, but it's when you're playing Furion, when you and you have your ultimate up, you may as well just buy back and keep farming, because you're gonna make as much gold. You're gonna make enough gold in the period you would have been dead to justify the buyback. So as long as you're not expecting to like desperately need a buyback in the next... Oh, and there's the silence and the cogs coming out onto Vigos after the hook. Stun is coming up from battery stealth. He's just going to get DPS down before he can even get out of there. I don't know why he didn't pop that BKB sooner, if he really... You know, did he just not realize how quick he was going to die? Did he forget he had the BKB? But could have taken off the Orchid silence. Would have been pretty darn helpful. Blow Your Brain now might be the target of the next engagement right here. Problematic, hanging out behind. Is he going to get the cogs? He is going to get the cogs coming out, but the Clockwork is just going to get eaten alive. The Universe can't get in to help him, and now he's getting turned around upon. Clockwork is just barely getting out. I don't know how he's... Oh, nice Infest Bomb to finish it off. Quickly taking out one of the Familiars as well. Dignitas just making bad decisions that they don't need to be making right here. It's really kind of... And now Fog looks like he might be next. He's setting himself up for some serious pain right here. Owie is going to help pick off SS really quickly. I would Blow Your Brain. I mean, just looking for that Visage. Visage is going to port out. They're going to get anything else done here, but no, they sneak it. They sneak in and make sure he can't port. Stop him. Puck is going to pick off Lifestealer. That's pretty darn significant right there. And then just going to disengage at a 2 for 2. But Empire lost Lifestealer, so you have to say that's a little worse for them. Oh, looks like... Oh, they're going to get Owie, too? That'll make it a little better. Vigos going to come in. Yup. They're going to pick off the... So, 3 for 2 now. But you still lost your carry, so he's not getting a lot of that. But he has his Deso. And Queen of Pain getting more farm and getting more ahead. I mean, obviously that's going to be more and more significant. Although she's kind of past her window. I mean, she's maxed out her spells. She's not going to get any stronger at this point. Except via... I mean, she's going to get some items. She's going to transition into her sort of semi-carry role just by being elusive with the blink. But her whole like serious business, incredibly strong mid-game period is over. I mean, at this point she's strong, but she's not the dominating presence. That's going to have to become the Lifestealer and become the Natured Prophet. And at the moment, the Lifestealer has that. The Natured Prophet really doesn't. Scandal 6613, plenty of creep kills. His net worth up there at 8600, but not not so high. He can just kind of run around, destroy everyone, split push with impunity. Trying to just get his farm up. He's also, with an ultimate orb, one would assume he's going for a fast Hex to try and deal with that Weaver. And just, have something to try and counter him, because they're really lacking on any sort of... Something I really should have mentioned, they don't actually have a real stun. Like, at all. Which is massively huge against a Weaver, and why he got last pick, most likely. Blinding Light going to come out, make sure Weaver can't be putting a whole lot of damage onto that cogged Enchantress, but she's still going to go down. Lots of AoE damage coming out from both Coddle and Queen of Pain. Hasty Queen of Pain just going to chase people down. Looks like Clockwork is going to be the target of choice. She's going to go on him, taking a whole lot of time to go down. SS is definitely going to get turned around upon by Universe right there. Blow Your Brain now getting a silence put out on him. Lots of damage coming out from those Weaver auto attacks. Nice coil to hold him there. Can't BKB out of that, my friend. Vigos going to BKB and just book it. Universe getting trapped in really quickly by Scandal, but with just Shikuchi's his way out. Picks up a triple kill for his trouble. And that was a huge engagement for Dignitas. 4 for 2, got the Lifestealer, forced the Queen of Pain back, and Universe just getting more and more farm. He is now 14-1, 15,000 net worth. Excellent game being played for him right now. It's amazing how well he's managing to not die, and it has to come down to there are no stuns. There are no stuns on Empire. If you're unable to lock down a Weaver, if he's able to keep mobile for the entire game, he's absolutely devastating, and Universe is showing us that right now. It's just complete destruction, really. It's the same way if you don't have any good creep clearing. Teams just teams can just basically last pick Broodmother and win, just off of that hero. So if you don't have good creep clearing or a way to deal with her in lane or something like that, she's just going to eat all of your towers, and then everyone else gets so much of an advantage off of it that they just win the game. Looks like we have an Axe coming out for Visage. He's got his third familiar. Axe and Atos. Owie 2000, also known in some circles as Atos 2000, loves this item, and that's incredibly... giving a second slow to Visage, who already has an incredibly good slow. I mean, so you basically, you get Grave Chill, Grave Chill Atos. That's 10 seconds of slow right there, which gives you another Grave Chill after the 10 seconds. So 16 seconds of straight, just ridiculous slow. That's hilarious. And on top of 3 familiars who are swinging for huge amounts of damage, and on top of being stuck with a Weaver who's practically got his Daedalus at 34 minutes, just waiting on the recipe, which is only, what, a few hundred gold away. Man. That is a pretty darn farmed Weaver, if I do say so myself. What do we have picking up here? SS picking up something. Looks like just wards and smoke. Possibly getting ready to try and make something happen. A smoke gank would really help them out right here if they could actually catch... they could catch a couple of the supports and bring them down before a fight. But at the same time, until that Hex is finished... I don't think they want to fight until that Hex is finished on Scandal. He's getting there, and if he gets this tower, he'll pretty much have it. But until that's a factor, until they have just anything to keep this Weaver from just running amok in their team fights and never dying, they shouldn't be trying to engage. I think that's part of the mistake they're making, is trying so hard to engage onto Dignitas and get these kills when they know they can't deal with the Weaver. Looks like Vygos is going to be the target of choice. Gets Orchided, but this time he pops that BKB, removes that silence very, very quickly, making sure he doesn't just get popped.
I am ever so grateful.
Quick earn to put him back up to full health. And Scandal did take that top tower. Does he have Sheepstick? He does. So that, I mean, now they can sort of fight, but still it's going to be hard because that's all they have. And they still need to worry about that to an extent. It's like the Enchantress creep almost going to be nuked down. The Coddle nuke is going to make it very, very hard for Dignitas to push into this. I mean, no matter what, it's always hard to push into a Coddle nuke because you just don't have creeps. You have to somehow get an engagement. There's a slow coming out on Blow Your Brain. Orchid coming out, so he can't rage out of it. Doesn't, obviously he's Lifestealer. He doesn't have a BKB. So lots and lots of damage being applied to him before he can pop that Magic Immune. And Owie gonna finish him, or excuse me, Universe gonna finish him off. Clockwork taking a huge amount of damage, getting destroyed, but Scandal gonna go down on that Nature's Prophet, and that's, I mean, there's their disable. It's dead. Universe can now just run free and destroy everyone. Oh, that Mana Leak. Mana Leak. Ultimate counter to Weaver. Mana Leak him just before he goes into Shikuchi. Oh, and also that huge amount of damage coming out. He just lost maybe a fifth of his life from that. Oh, the slow coming out and the burst damage onto that Enchantress. She's going to go down very, very quickly. Blinding Light tries to keep her alive, but not quite. Fog comes in with the silence. It misses on Vygos because of the BKB, but he's going to go down anyway. That damage coming out from that Soul Assumption nuke in those team fights, how quickly it fills up when everyone around you is getting hit for damage is pretty unbelievable. And this tower definitely going to fall, even with Universe at such low life. Pretty much no way for Coddle to stop that. They know he's charging up the nuke. They know he has to be. Would have been pretty funny if Universe had died right there. But the sense to realize, wait a minute, if I get Coddle nuked, I'm going to die.
And it's up.
Magic resistance being built up here on the Clockwork. Wonder if he's going to go for a pipe, or if he just was kind of buying the casual cloak. Either way, against a team that has a Queen of Pain, any sort of magic resist is always good. Queen of Pain and a Keeper of the Light. So that's a huge amount of just constant streams of damage that are going to be coming down in any given team fight. Universe has his Daedalus, has another 2100 gold on top of it. I'd expect a heart to come out from him next. I mean, he's got all the damage he needs, especially at this point in the game, just making himself unkillable, even with that Hex, just saying, okay, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? you have 3.5 seconds to try and kill me with a Hex. I believe it's 3.5. I'm not crazy. 3.5. And 3.5 seconds is going to be nowhere near enough to bring down the health pool I've got. And that's my opinion on what he should go for. Obviously, we'll see what he decides. Ghost Scepter being built up by Keeper of the Light. Quick Smoke going to come out. They're going to try and get something done here. The Lifestealer is infested into the Queen of Pain. Going to try and get a quick burst of initiation coming out from that. And this, I mean, Empire, they're slowly being edged out of this game. At this point now, we have over 7,500 experience and over 4,000 gold for Dignitas. Looks like the engagement is going to start right here, and Scandal is going to get picked off before anything can happen. Nice coil catches too. SS stuck inside those cogs anyway. 3-3-3, just tossing off that impetus, but it's not enough damage. I mean, they just don't care at the moment. Tides does go down, but, I mean, Chantra's taking some damage. The Soul Assumption Burst is gonna just finish her off before that heal can get to her. And now, Universe thinking about going further in. They have the, there's the Orchid coming out on the Queen of Pain. Is her BKB on cooldown? It is. This might be a dead Quap if she can't get the blink off in time. There it goes. Puck finished the Shiva's guard, by the way. SS trying to nuke down these creeps, prevent them from going in. I'm trying to think what Empire really needs to get back into this, because I just don't think... I think they're looking... I don't think they realize how close they are to the edge of the cliff, and this Roshan, DD Weaver is going to take him very nice and quick. Look how slow he attacks when he's under that Grave Shield. I mean, DD Weaver critting for 1,000. Looks like Empire knows this is happening, but they also know there's just nothing they can do about it. And there's the Aegis on Universe. And if they don't just go take racks off of this, I don't know what the point of it was. And Fogged's trying to live. Still alive, is he? That's ridiculous how much he's managed to just get out of that puck. Queen of Pain, you're going to try and get out. He dodges another one. Oh my god, he's going to live. The silence comes out to make sure that Vygots can't blink away. This is going to be a push-up mid. This is going to be, and there's the GGs. I was going to say, this is going to be racks, if not thrown, with those 3 heroes down. And well played by Dignitas. I mean, it was very back and forth, actually, through the mid-game. For a bit, Empire was on the back foot, which isn't really what you want with a Queen of Pain, as I mentioned. But they really kind of played well, took back the advantage they needed, but then Dignitas just... The fact that that Weaver was completely uncountered for the entire game by the complete lack of stuns. That's why you last pick Weaver. I can't believe I didn't notice that when I picked the Weaver. I just kind of dismissed it as, oh, it's a Weaver, they're going to use him to carry, without kind of thinking, why did they pick the Weaver? And I apologize for that. Something I should have taken into account sooner in the cast. But yeah, I mean, just the lack of stuns devastated Empire. And that's that. Gonna go dark, so you guys don't see how many replays there are, and I'll be right back.